Ami has been break-even since day one. We never lost any money.
Your decision-making seems to be strategic, but also I think that you go with what your gut tells you.
Sometimes you ask yourself more questions. I try to do the opposite, to listen more to my guts and say, okay, we live only once, so let's make it happen.
What was the thinking and the reasoning why you said, I'm going to jump ship and go to Ami?
I would say the main reason was
Nicolas Santi-Weil is not your typical fashion CEO. He's the architect, alongside founding designer Alexandre Mattiussi, behind the rise of Ami Paris. He understands how to scale a brand without losing its soul, take daring yet calculated risks, and knows how to craft a growing fashion empire that feels both deeply personal and universally relatable. You recently talked about friendly luxury. Can you talk a little bit about this new strategy?
we want to be cool. We want to be welcoming. We want to take care of you and want you to have a good time. Each time someone tells me you're crazy, or it's not possible, or it won't work, it's the best excitement they can give me. I would die to make it happen.
What's your go-to karaoke song?
I would say
What I love about your origin story is it's exactly like mine in that you had no intention of going into fashion. That was not your plan, not at all. What made you decide to go into it, or how did that happen? And then what made you decide to stick with it?
Okay, exactly. I wasn't born to be in fashion, but I fell in love with New York. Just at the end of my studies, I did a French business school in Paris. And I went there with my best friend for like a month of holidays. I found the city totally insane. And I said, I want to find a job in New York. And the first job I found, it was like through a job offer on on the books, that time really old books and papers, you know, about a job offer in New York. It was like test lancement produit, which means test a new product in the US. And I called, and the product was custom-made shirts, like bespoke shirts made in France. And the location was North America. Then I asked, what is North America? Okay, East Coast, cool. New York, so I'm on it. And I did all the interview to get this job.
Wow.
And that was end of August 2001. And so I was so happy. I was jumping all around when I get the position. And but then 9/11 happened. So it was a kind of a tricky period for me because I quitted my apartment. I was about to leave for New York. But all my friends were making laugh of me because for a year and a half, I was supposed to leave the next month and I wasn't leaving because of all the French bashing, the French
the freedom fries.
veto. Exactly. You know about it. But I kept on fighting for a year and a half. And in March 2003, I managed to get my visa, my ticket, and I moved to New York then. And that's how I came to fashion.
And so what was it about fashion? Because, okay, it's a job. Yes, it gets me to New York. Yes. But is there something fundamental about fashion that you're like, this is what I want to spend my life's work at?
No, I think it was the entrepreneurial move because it was a French company based in Paris that was existing since like 1938, quite old, that had its own factory in Normandy, that had like a showroom and subsidiary in Tokyo, but had no operation in the US. So it was like, I had to go there like with my bag, you know, and to build the subsidiary.
Knock on those doors.
Exactly, and make it happen. And first I thought I would be knocking on doors there, but I had to knock on doors in Paris to help, to get my visa, to fight for it. And so it was, I would say, the entrepreneurial move, the challenge, and to bring a French, like a beautiful company, small, but with his own factory, with a beautiful product, in New York. For me, that was the perfect challenge. So I was excited about it.
It seems very much a foreshadow of your entire career, actually. So I think it's a similar kind of story with Les Couples, right?
Yes. Yeah.
Where you started from nothing. You seem to like that bootstrap, young startup. But I want to jump from Les Couples directly into Ami Paris because you had a good thing going with Les Couples. And Mathieu is charming as all get out, and I see the appeal, but that's a big step to go from something that you know is a winning concept to let's start something completely fresh, or a brand that's making very little money, is not known. What was the thinking and the reasoning why you said, I'm going to jump ship and go to Ami?
I would say the main reason was the meeting with Alexandre. I met with, it's a friend of mine who said, Nicolas, I was at that time CEO at Couples, and we were doing pretty good. But I was thinking of something else because I had a vision. I wanted to go to Asia, and they were not so motivated about my partners were not so motivated about it. And a friend of mine just called me out of the blue and said, Nicolas, he was a tech guy, a tech entrepreneur. And he said, I've just been recently investing in a fashion brand. And he said, I don't know a thing about fashion. Could you just help me, give me some output, some ideas, etc.? So I say, why not? What's the brand? He told me the name. I went to visit the first corner that Alexandre opened in Printemps on Boulevard Haussmann. And I fell in love with the brand. The sales staff was smiling. I bought a lot of things. And I called back my friend. I say, good bet. I think there's something by this brand. So I would love to meet the person, the creator. And we first had a first drink with Alexandre. I love the guy, his ideas, inspiration, his way of seeing. I'm a stylist, but I'm a commerciant at first. My parents were commerciants. And he said, my happiness would be to dress my friend with my brand, with my garments. That's why I called it Ami. And I told him, oh, that's very fun. I have 9 very close friends. We're doing every day we're going for a weekend, just the 9 of us together. Or he said, 9 is my lucky number. Yeah, so very fast it went on. And I say, okay, I really like his values, his vision. And I say, yeah, maybe I think I could help. And that's the way it all started. And I say, I think in terms of values, his vision, what he's been doing, and also the fact that at this time, he was a stylist, but he was really, there were like 6 or 7 at that time, but he was handling like the payment for the rent of the officers, for the salaries. He was doing his Excel files, And I say, okay, he's a stylist and he's able to do this. So if I jump in and I free him from this task, he will be even stronger as a stylist, but he will still understand the finance and the business. Exactly. So I felt I was very direct with my partners at Couples. I was like not in the same direction. So I told them I cannot pretend. Yeah. And I met this young designer. I'm very excited about it. And we made it happen quite fast.
Yeah, I know you seem to be very following your gut, intuitive. Your decision-making seems to be strategic, but also there is that kind of, I think that you go with what your gut tells you.
I try to do it more. I mean, when you get older, sometimes you ask yourself more questions. I try to do the opposite, to listen more to my guts and say, okay, we live only once, so let's make it happen. Let's take some risk with people. We love to share risk. And if it's good, it's good. If it's not good, I will learn something and have fun. So,
I mean, yes, you are a risk taker. So I'm just trying to think of a few that I'm thinking in terms of me. You expanded during COVID. Oh, yeah. You banked on Emily in Paris when everyone's like, what? And I'm trying to think. I mean, there's multiple examples of you take. Where does that desire to kind of push the envelope or step outside the box or dare in that way in an industry that's quite cautious in general?
I don't know the split. I would say it's a mix of my personality, the way I see business, the way I see life, the way I see friendship, and managing to have all of this in my job, which is cool. And also, I think what I learned from my position in New York, and I spent 4 years in New York, and this idea of seeing that failure is part of the way. So being frightened is okay. Thinking that you might fail is okay. And that's the excitement. It's like life. You know you're going to die. So at the end of the day, you're going to die. So let's make things we can be proud of. Let's take some risk. And I always say, I think that life is like a cartoon. I want, every morning to play with a new page, to have new colors and say, okay, what's going to happen today? And how can I make sure that no day will look like the previous one, to have some surprise and to be okay, that there could be some deception, that there could be some failure. They are part of the way, but at least I leave something creative. And when I say creative, I don't talk about only art. I talk about business, about relationship, about being surprised every day.
Yeah, I think your business strategy is very creative in its execution. You're definitely thinking outside the box. In fact, the example that comes to mind for me is you recently talked about friendly luxury. Yep. Can you talk a little bit about this new strategy in terms of how we talk about luxury? If you like this conversation, well, then you clearly have got good taste. So go ahead and hit that subscribe button, drop a comment, and share the love. Because honestly, who wouldn't want a front row seat to fashion's best stories?
Yeah, because the point is that for years we were playing between two games, I would say, depending on the partners, depending on the countries. On some department store, we're on the luxury floor, like the entry luxury brand. On some other, we were the top of the contemporary or designer floor. And it was like not so consistent. So we worked a lot on it with like coach, with like brand philosophy, sociologists. It was very interesting. And at the end of the game, say, okay, it's okay to be in between. Maybe that's our singularity, to be in between and to be agile, to play on different field. But at one point, it started in Korea, in Galleria department store. They called us. We had been working with them for like 8 years or 9 years with amazing result. And they say, now we cannot go higher in terms of profitability per square foot where you stand. And we like to try you really on the full luxury floor. And they gave us what was supposed to be a pop-up on just at the arrival of the escalator on the luxury floor. They say, we give it to you for 1 month pop-up. After a week, they call me back. They say, it's not a pop-up anymore. It's incredible. The figure, nobody expected that high. And they say, now it's a permanent location. And with it, the end of the season, we're going to double the size of your corner. And we say, look, it works. We have the same clients. We're less expensive. So let's give it a try. Second city or country was Japan, in Osaka. We did the same with Hankyu. And step by step, we say, okay, we belong to there. But at the same time, we didn't want to be pretentious because Alexandre left LVMH and he said, I don't want to make affordable garment. I want to make garments where the quality is in line with the price we propose, something fair. Yeah. And that's why we didn't want to go crazy about prices, but we say we can address, we have the same suppliers like fabric, width, etc. We're working with the same as luxury brand. We just don't do the same multiples. We want to be more connected to real life. And so that's why we say even within our excom, some say, no, we are not luxury. Some say, yes, we are, but we have the same. And we found this idea of friendly luxury. Say, we have the level of expectation for the quality, for the cut, for the delivery of luxury brand. We don't have the price, but, and this is a key element, a key value for Alexandre and myself, we want to be cool. We want to be welcoming. And we say to our sales staff, during training, when someone get into our store, no matter it's a teenager that's going to buy just a pair of socks or a hat, or it's like a prince of the Middle East, we want him to have the exact same welcoming. Say, welcome to our store. It's your first step into luxury. Or it's like you can buy the whole store. We're going to give you the same level of attention. We're going to take care of you and want you to have a good time. And that's simple. It's the same story for the staff. It's the same story. I think the level of respect has to be the same with the DHL person, with the cleaning lady that's there at 5 a.m. in the morning. No matter you're a star or you're fighting for, we want to have this value as a key element of AMI no matter what. So sometimes people say, yeah, but luxury is not friendly. Luxury is not inclusive. Luxury is... Okay, let's change it. Let's challenge
Why
luxury.
Does it have to be that way?
Look, the young, cool kids in Asia, like, they have the money, they have the power, but they don't want to be disconnected. When you go to Chengdu, you see the way they behave, the way they eat, the way they go out on the streets during the afternoon. They're not that kind of exclusive people. They mix and match the brand. They are cool. So we say it's possible. Let's try to make it happen, and that will be our signature. And let's not forget that AMI it's the first letter and last letter of Alexandre Mattiussi name, but it means friend. It has to make sense. So this friendly luxury, say, we can make luxury inclusive. It doesn't mean that anyone can buy this. It's a certain, we know it's quite expensive, but once you buy this, you have the quality you bought. And we want the same in the level of service. We want the same with our partner, the factories we've been working with. And that was a strong help during the COVID.
Sure.
And the same thing with our staff. I have many examples, but that's a key factor. And now that we grow a lot, it's even more a challenge to maintain those values.
Staff training and the values within the staff. Yeah. And it's critical because it's the service. The service is the
and let's not forget where we're coming from. Let's not forget the original idea. But let's dare to say we can make luxury fun, cool, creative. For sure they're creative, but open.
Yeah. Well, I mean, I honestly... considering when I look at AMI, you've got the French heritage, you have the commitment to great quality, you have there's the timelessness of the pieces. These are they're everyday and yet elevated every day. There's the evergreenness nature to it. It really makes me think of like next gen Hermes. It makes me feel like it's Hermes for the Gen Alpha, the millennials. I feel like it is really something. And I think that also people who buy it feel like they're not being made a fool of. I think a lot of people we're seeing it where Ami is crushing it. The rest of the fashion industry, besides Hermes, seems to be suffering because of really high price increases, treating their clientele like they'll buy anything. How are you seeing the current landscape as Ami is succeeding hand over fist? These other industries or these other organizations are really struggling to maintain their clientele or having a bit of a backlash, let's say.
But my conviction, I don't want to talk too much about other brands because I don't want to give lessons. The thing we know is we want to stick with the price consistency. So we worked on a brand elevation, but not price elevation, you know. We've been working hard to work with the finest fabric, the finest mill in Italy, etc. So when they rose the price, we had to follow, but we didn't get crazy. We did like 30, 40, 60, 80% increase during COVID. We did 5%, 7, 10% step by step. And it's been, I would say maybe the vision of Alexandre to say, I want to give, I don't like the word affordable, but prices that make sense and to stick to this philosophy. So we were, I would say, below luxury brand in terms of price, the less expensive luxury brand like maybe Celine or Loewe. But now all those brands went so high and so fast for the past 2 or 3 years. And we grew just step by step, like 5, 10, 12%, that now the gap between those luxury brands and Ami is getting way bigger. And we think from the feedbacks, we're just sending, you know, the men's fashion week and the showroom period. It's really, the feedback we get from the buyers is like, does your price positioning make a lot of sense? You didn't go crazy. So into it, we didn't increase the price so much. And secondly, we don't play with the countries. We don't do like 80% plus in that country, 60 there, 30. No, we produce everything in Europe. We had the tax, we had the custom, the shipment, and that's it. So we just want to be fair to make sense, because I think on the long run, if you use, you exaggerate your positioning or you overprice somewhere and not somewhere else, one day or another, you're going to pay for it, you know? And the client with his cell phone, even when they cannot travel, they know. And if they find that you're giving one speech in Shanghai, one other speech in New York, one other speech in Paris, you can, one day or another, they will make you pay for it. So just to be honest, to be true, to be able sometimes to play with very, like, more expensive garment, but explaining why, because of the material, because of the cut that is very unique. And then we realize they are ready to follow as long as you're honest. Yeah. And that can make sense. I think on the long run, it makes a huge difference.
No, I agree. I want to talk about something else, because I thought it was really an interesting strategy also for the brand, is that you've invested in or taken over the Pierre Bergère Prize at Andam. And then, of course, you had the Cannes Film Festival, the Grand Prix Ami as well. Those are interesting choices for... It's not marketing. It doesn't feel like that. But those are interesting areas to be investing to get the word out, or to start collaborating with different areas or different creatives. Can you talk about the thinking behind those choices to do those things?
Like you said, we didn't think about those elements as a marketing strategy. It was more like both Alexandre and myself, we think that Ami is more than fashion. It's like a platform, and even a fashion brand is more than garments, if you see what I mean. So it's more that we like to be connected. We like to challenge ourselves. I mean, I will speak for myself, but to challenge myself with new ideas. And sometimes being before like a business angel. I don't know if I told you, but I launched a music label to help young artists, French artists, to go abroad, and now foreign artists to come to France. The same idea with the Pierre Bergère Prize at the Andam. We create a fashion entrepreneurial prize with IFM, Institut Français de la Mode. All those projects, John, only have one goal, is just to try and help, and by helping, learning from them, and seeing we want to help this young generation to bring their ideas to life, to take those challenges, because nowadays it's so more difficult, like even 10 or 15 years ago, to create your own brand, to finance your own brand. Because of the media, you think that everything is easy. It's not easy.
No.
You're visible much faster, but you can fail way faster as well. So this idea was, by trying to help younger one by telling them the success we made, but also the mistake we had. Trying to tell them, let's not do the same mistake. If I can help you by giving you one advice, one contact, this idea we made with the entrepreneur prize at the IFM, AMI IFM prize, is just the winning as a 1-year mentoring with all the members of the jury. And each year we create a new jury with 10 personalities from like fashion, music, literature, architecture, media, changing every year just to connect them. And what is really cool is like by doing so, we're helping. I mean, at least we're trying to help, but we're helping ourselves.
Oh yeah, absolutely.
So much more. I mean, in my head, I'm 17 years old, and getting close to those young people, the question they ask, the thinking they have, it makes my brain younger. And I say, why? Oh yeah, they think like this. Maybe that should give me a new vision or a new question for my brain. I would come back and I ask my team, what do you think about this? Why don't we do things like that? And it's helping a lot. So these overall ideas with weeks, La Semaine de la Critique in Cannes, it's young directors for their first or second long movie, by the Pierre Berger, which is the young designer for the first creation, always being in contact with this emerging entrepreneur,
finger
artist,
on the pulse.
creative, and it's cool. And you know what they give you back when you see they smile. I had a message just arriving to this podcast and say, oh, thank you. Because of you, I met this person and she gave me inspiration for that. Or she invited me to this festival. It gave me like hopes or creativity. And I say, yes, we get something. And it's life.
Yeah.
It's simple. Simple as life.
That's the thing I love most about what I do is those connections, like connecting brands with the designers. Yeah, no, absolutely. I wanted to ask you a little bit about that moment. I think it was in Shanghai where the fashion show where we saw each other.
Yeah. Long time ago.
Not so long ago. Yeah, it was yesterday. No, but I mean, I was such a fluke to see each other there. But I know that was such a pivotal moment in the history of AMI. Again, I think this was right around COVID, but talk to me about why that was such a pivotal change for you.
October 2019 it was.
Yeah, I remember. Yeah, and then we went out dancing afterwards.
Oh, yeah.
Much dancing was had. But why was that such a pivotal moment for the brand, in your opinion?
I had a strong conviction about the desire of like the Chinese young, I mean, not kids, but like a teenager when they start working, etc., that they want a new fashion brand with a strong identity. And since the first season, we had been doing fashion shows in Paris with the French Federation. We're very happy. All the fashion shows were in Paris because we love it, and we're proud to be French and to live here. And in 2018, I started to talk to Alexandre. I say, Alexandre, when I see the first result in China, we started opening a store over there. We did first Hong Kong, then Beijing, then Chengdu. I think there's a game to play for us over there, but I want us to be involved. So before opening the store, we went there with Alexandre, and I say, I want you to really feel like these cool kids, how they behave. So we went to Chengdu, to Ningbo, to Guangzhou, to different cities. To feel we made dinner, with architects, with DJ, with designers, with chefs, to mix with them and to see how creative they were. From France or from Europe, sometimes we had a wrong vision. I think they are following us. No, they are not following us. We should be following them.
So
when you
creative.
see the way they behave, they create, like in Chengdu is an amazing city.
Yeah.
And so in 2019, I said, Alexandre, I think it's the right momentum now to do our first fashion show outside of France. And let's make it in China, because I think it will be a strong cultural gesture. It's not, for sure, it's marketing, and it was also to help our business. But more than this, it was to show them that we want to personally invest this country, to understand the way they are living, to see how we wanted to bring a Parisian touch, but at the same time to adapt. Not to playing like a Chinese brand, because it's not the case, but to play with the rules over there, doing a karaoke after party, that kind of things. And we say, okay, let's make it happen. And we organize it in October 2019. And a little bit like a rock band, this is my music influence. We say, let's do an Asian tour. So we did this fashion show in Shanghai. The day after, we did a big event in Seoul, in Korea, with Samsung in Corso Como. And the day after, we did a big party in Tokyo. That was end of October 19th. 2 weeks later, the COVID struck. It was a disaster over there. So everybody told us, you're crazy, you invest your money there, look, now they are dead, it's gone, blah, blah, blah. The result of the fashion show that you attend was insane. Before it was like 10,000, 50, 80,000 views. Now it was 2 million views in one day. We had 500 guests. We had 900 persons on the waiting list.
Oh my goodness.
It was, it gave us a dimension that we didn't expect. And so, okay, something happened over there. When we get back to France after this 3-country tour, yes, we had the COVID. And then say, okay, what did we do? Was it a good mood? And what happened? We told them, guys, we think of you. We know it's going to be hard. We're here for you, blah, blah, blah. We had partners over there. We say, okay, let us know if we can help. And a few weeks later, COVID struck France. It was Fashion Week.
Fashion Week, I remember.
And the Dîner des Créateurs in Élysée Palace. That was February 2020. And then, Europe and the US were on a huge lockdown. Everything was frozen and nothing happened. And by that time, China, they stood up and they started developing. Same for Korea. And because of the first foundation we had over there, because of the partnership, because of the investment and the recruitment we made over there, in 2020, during the COVID, we opened 11 stores in China and 6 stores in Korea. Those 11 stores in China and 6 stores in Korea, the profitability, the success it brought to the brand helped us finance our development then when COVID was over in Europe. So in 21, 22, because of this, we managed to self-finance stores in Europe and then last step in the US. So it was a pivot moment, really. It was a game changer for us. It was luck, it was guts, it was vision. I cannot say it's a mix of everything, but we had this common trust with Alexandre, say, let's make it happen. We know there are some risk that we can do mistake in interview. The show, we had a partner that 2 months before the show said, oh no, we're not going to finance your show. We're going to either postpone or cancel. And I said, no, what the fuck, no, let's make it happen. So I call René from Obo. I said, René, please take over all the contracts there. We're going to pay you. We're going to make it happen, but let's not cancel. We find partners with Pernod Ricard for the after show. Totally system day, but we made it happen. We knew we had something to play. We played big, and it was fun. And we made amazing meetings with amazing creative Chinese, Korean, and Japanese friends that now I can call friends. And this development and this time was a game changer, because after this, from 2019 till 2023, within 4 years, and despite first the COVID and then the war in Ukraine, and they were like, 20 and 22.
Coup contre coup,
and contre coup was big because we produced everything in Europe. So our supply chain was highly challenged.
Wow.
Despite all of this, we did a 10x growth between 2019 and 2023, going from 37 to more than 300 million euro. And I'm not saying this to be proud or whatever, but just to say, let's not be afraid to talk about figure. And success is an option, is possible. Even more during crisis period. If you have a strong team, strong belief, and partners that trust you, you can make amazing things. Even today, even more today.
You have to dare.
Oh yeah. You have to work. Sometimes, with young, when you do interviews, they want to change the world. They ask you about your footprint, your impact, your philosophy, and say, okay, guys, when are you ready to work? They want to know remote work, this and that. Say, okay, I'm happy that you question myself about all of this. That's cool. But let's talk about work. What do you think you will bring to our company? What is your motivation? And bring back values.
I mean, circling back to the impact of Asia, I know that you have so many stores there. I know that the majority shareholder, and I get this right, there's a Chinese investment fund that came on board in 2021, 60% of the company. At this point, they've made lots of money. It's been a huge, great investment. It seems to be typical that at this point maybe they'd want to step out, take their winnings and go off the table, come off the table, as they say. Is that something that's in the cards? Are you looking for would you like another one-time big investor who's going to take 60%? Would you like multiple smaller investors? Like if you're projecting to that moment when that might change, what do you envision?
Many questions in one, but the idea is for the next step. It's an investment fund. It's Sequoia Capital China, now called Hongshan. And after 5 years, it's like normal that they're thinking of like we call a respiration. They want to make a cash out of the investment. So for the next step, I don't have a single scenario. It could be either one big investor, it can be a few minority investor. The only important point is that it's someone that fully understands the vision, and not only the vision, the values of family, that can respect the values of family, so that sometimes it can go way faster than what we expected. Sometimes it can take more time. Like recently, we cut a lot of business. We cut a lot of wholesale partners that were not respecting the brand, that were playing with the price, discounting like a repeat items that they should not discount. So we stop, we cancel, we reduce a lot to protect the brand. That were playing with logo, not respecting the quotas, the rules, etc. So we decided to reduce, and that's why, coming back to your question, the only point that I'm fully certain is that the next investor, we want them to understand and to respect the brand, to have a long-term vision. We know we're doing a marathon, not a sprint. Building a friendly luxury brand takes time, takes money. So far, we haven't raised so much money. Like I explained you, it's the profitability of Ami. Ami has been break-even since day one. We never lost any money. And people tend to think that it's a big money of big investor. No, it's the profitability of our business in Asia. And now also, second thing is the switch from wholesale to retail. When I joined, it was like 95% wholesale. Today, it's 31% wholesale. So more than 2/3 of our business is D2C, on stores, online. So they have to understand this vision and willing to help to build this brand. But understanding Alexandre like creative vision, my business creative vision, and to understand the people. Now we have gathered a strong team, really directors, people. We build an excom to think about the strategy. We worked, I told you, with coach, with philosophists, with sociologists. We work hard because we love what we do. We're proud of what we do. And like we say, it's like inviting someone for a dinner. You don't want them to be like you necessarily, but you want them to listen to you. You want to talk with them. You want them to be curious. You want them to be ambitious.
To bring something to the table themselves.
Totally. If they come to a dinner without like a bottle of wine or these are some things, I'm not sure I invite the right person, See what I mean?
Yeah, so absolutely.
It's just this. And then I cannot tell you if they're going to be like American, European, or Asian. I cannot tell you how big they're going to be, if they're going to be 1, 2, or 3. We're open to any scenario. We just want to make sure that we'll be fully in line, because we are even more ambitious today about the future and the potential of Ami, and want to make sure to share this story with the right persons.
So you're halfway there, or you're well on your way to being $1 billion brand. Where is that focus? I mean, I live in Dubai now, and I'm not seeing Ami. I mean, I see there's a lot of people buying Ami from other places. When are we going to see Ami in the Middle East?
I cannot tell all the name, but we're changing partners over there. And now we want to play it big. We're about to sign with a new partner that is really like highly motivated to develop Ami in retail and not only in wholesale in Middle East. We have, in Middle East and in the US, we are underrepresented. So we know there are two big development, huge market for us. We recently opened 2 new doors in the US, one in Miami and one in South Coast Plaza. And Middle East, we're finalizing because it's such a particular market that you need to really understand the culture, the way of doing the business. But now I'm very convinced about the new partner we're about to work with. Very excited. And you will see, I hope.
Well, you'll be coming to town. We're going to hang out.
More than you can expect.
We're going to have to do some more karaoke singing in Dubai.
Yes. I love it. And for me, sometimes a karaoke session is stronger than an interview.
Oh, I absolutely agree. Wait. So what's your go-to karaoke song?
I would say Total Eclipse of the Heart, Bonnie Tyler.
Oh my God, I love. Okay.
You want to sing it? I'm kidding.
In Dubai. I want to ask you before you go, because I know you have to dash because there's meeting upon meeting. 5 generic fashion questions. We'll do them real quick. What is your favorite piece of clothing or favorite object or piece that's the most precious to you in the world that you would take with you anywhere?
The one I have tonight is like this suede Ami jacket, brown. I wear it like 3 times a week. I love it.
Yeah?
And I will never quit it.
Okay. What trend will you never follow?
You must. The trend like fashion. I say, it's funny. We often say with Alexandre, we don't try to be fashionable because some fashion comes and goes. We like to make things that make sense. And I say, and then more personally answering to your question, like each time someone tell me you're crazy or it's not possible or it won't work, is the best excitement they can give me, and I would die to make it happen. So
You love a challenge.
I told you from day one. So yes. As long as we're living, we can try things, and we can do crazy things. I'm convinced we can do crazy things. I have a lot to tell you, but that will be off the
record.
Off the records
later. Second to last question is, who's your favorite designer, living or dead?
I would say Alexandre for sure, but that would sound obvious. I really love also two other designers that I love. Mathieu. I think his work at Bottega was insane. The last campaign he did before moving to Chanel was, he had everything. It was creative. It was the quality of anything. It was smiling, it was colorful. I loved it. And then also Jonathan Anderson, because for me, he's coming from another planet. I had the chance to meet him a couple of times, and his creativity is huge. His way of thinking fashion through art, what he's doing for a young photographer, etc. So now I'm really, really curious about what he's going to do with Dior. And I think that's a very interesting move. And this guy for me is a genius.
Yes, this fall season, it's going to be epic. I mean, it's going to be,
September will be insane.
It's going to be, So my last question for you is, what do you love most about fashion?
The people I meet. The people I meet. And it's funny, I would say the people I meet outside of fashion, which means it's not in Paris, New York, or Milan that they can be genuine or true because of the you have to, or the beautiful things, the gala, blah, blah, blah. But then when you go with them outside of those fashion world, when I go to Business of Fashion Voices, you know, in the Oxfordshire, when I go like to Festival d'Hier, you just bring them outside of the big fashion city, capital of the world, and you talk genuinely to them. They're amazing souls when they're not trying to show, to display, or to pretend. You have beautiful people, and I think there's a lot of beautiful in each of us, but in this creative world, they're amazing. But I think let's try to think out of the box. Let's bring them to like music, to their passion, and then you meet amazing people.
Nicolas, this was delight. This is going to have to be first at more than one interviews because I have so many questions for you.
Yes.
But we'll have to do this again.
Happy to connect again.
Yes, with
this
pleasure.
Studio, amazing studio. Yeah. And I look forward, maybe when we come to Middle East.
Yeah, we can do it
Dubai,
then. We have all of the new news and all the exciting new things we can talk about that we can't talk about now.
The next steps.
Yes, next step. Thank you.
And thank you very much for this invitation. It's a pleasure to see you again. And I look forward to sharing the next step with you.
J'ai hâte.
Merci beaucoup, Jessica.
Merci.